everyone. Welcome to I Cook, You Measure. I'm your host, Jen Mueller. The guest measurer today is a guy that is usually like squatting down, almost sitting. So I made sure that I had heels on for when you're standing because you're kind of a big guy. It's Cal Raleigh, the catcher for the Mariners. Cal, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me here.
So I know that you like to cook. I know that you're a little adventurous in the kitchen. What is your confidence level in cooking to the point that other people can see it?
Probably like a 5'6".
5'6".
5 to 6, yeah. Not too confident, but I think I can get the job done.
Okay, well, all you really have to do today is measure. That is going to be your primary responsibility. We are making chicken marsala out of Skinny Taste. This is a lighter version. It is also a very quick version. Now, you know from watching the show that I love to pair wine with our food. Today, we are drinking a Merlot from Washington State. I'm gonna have you try it and tell me what you think of it. In order to get the full pairing, I'm gonna have you go to the website, talksportytome.com, make sure that you get the updates with the ingredients list and the wine pairing. You haven't actually tried it yet.
All right,
Yeah. It's a real moment of truth.
I'm gonna pretend like I know what I'm talking about. Sounds good, or it is good.
It is good.
Doesn't sound good.
We've got beeping in the kitchen, and it might be a good time.
It's very good wine.
Okay, so that passes muster, so that's important. And obviously, this is not my kitchen. We are on location, so things are just a little bit different today. Thus the dinging of the oven that kind of caught me off guard. But we have got to actually get to work. So here is what we are gonna do. I'm gonna move this to the side, and I'm gonna put you to work. The first thing we need to do is start with some chicken cutlets. Now, I already bought these from the store, but you know that if you needed chicken cutlets, all you need to do is get a chicken breast and cut it in half, right?
Butterfly.
Yeah, butterfly it and you could pound it. If I was at home, I would tell you, you guys already know this, get out the mallet because it's very satisfying. But these look pretty thin. These are pretty good. So here's what I'm gonna have you do. You can step right over here. I'm gonna have you dredge the chicken in the flour.
I can do that right here.
Yep.
Let me use this one. You get that?
Yep. So I'm gonna have you do that. Our flour just has literally flour and some salt and pepper in it. While he's doing that, I'm going to unceremoniously put some butter into our pan and a little bit of olive oil. Mixing olive oil and butter gives it slightly, just a slightly richer flavor, but because this is a lightened version, we're taking some of the calories out of it by mixing it like that and giving some flavor. That looks good, yep, keep going. I feel like I need to hold this like this, yep. And once you get like 2 of those, let's go ahead and pop it in the pan.
This one's a big one.
I feel like you've done this before.
I've seen my mom do it.
You've never dredged chicken?
I've done fish before. I don't get too complicated.
So go ahead and dredge those other 2. You know what I would say though? Like, fish is harder for me.
Yeah, I had a roommate in college who was a big fisherman and he almost ate fish every night. So he kind of taught me a little bit and I kind of learned from him, and he was always doing, fish fries and scallops and.
So what we're gonna do with this chicken is make sure that it is partially cooked through. This is something you do not want to undercook. Much like you don't want to overcook fish, you do not want to undercook chicken. We're not trying to cook it in its entirety right now. What we're trying to do is make sure that both sides are browned and that we've started the process. What's the most adventurous thing you've ever cooked?
I don't know if it was adventurous, but I tried to stir fry one time and it did not go very well. I didn't know what I was trying to do.
It didn't go very well.
Well, I tried to cook, I thought I knew what I was doing. I was like, oh, this will be easy. I could just add a bunch of stuff in there and it'll taste good. And it was a mix between like Chinese, Mexican, and
Wait, I'm sorry.
I didn't know where I went with it.
Right, so you didn't really have a plan.
Yeah, it went terribly. So.
What? I'm curious, do you remember what the ingredients are that made it both Chinese and Mexican at the same time?
I can't remember. I think I added there was soy sauce with peas, carrots, and then I added like jalapenos at the same time.
Well, I mean, I can see that.
I didn't know what I wanted it to be with the spices and adding, like trying to marinate like the chicken, and I was all over the place. It wasn't very good.
Did you eat dinner that night?
I did, but I went and got it somewhere else.
Check that chicken. I'm gonna grab a sip of wine, and then you're gonna do a little chopping for me. I mean, I think we're in pretty good shape, right?
Really good.
I feel like this is a pause for an intermission sort of break. Somebody should be singing and dancing. Who's gonna sing and dance? Nobody? Okay. I noticed that Cal's not jumping at that opportunity.
I'm not much of a. Well, I am.
You're not. Oh, what? Huh? What?
It depends. Depends on where I'm at. I can sing in the car and I can dance at weddings. That's about it.
So you're saying there's a chance we might be able to see this?
I mean, if I see it at a wedding sometime soon, maybe.
Okay.
What is this? Onion? What is that? Garlic? I don't know what that is.
That's a shallot.
I don't know what that is.
So a shallot is a type of onion, but it's gonna have a little bit more of a mild flavor to it.
Okay.
A shallot is awesome if you wanna add it to a salad, or if you kind of like the taste of onions, but they can be really strong.
Shallot.
Still in the onion family, yep.
Okay.
A shallot.
Never cooked with one before.
So I've already taken the skin off. It looks very much like an onion, as you can see from the top. I've already taken that off. So what we need that to become is a dice. How do you feel about your dicing abilities?
Probably subpar, but
Probably.
I can make it work.
So what I would start with is taking the ends off. And please watch your fingers as you're doing that.
You could end badly.
Please, let's not even put that into the universe. Can we just not?
Yeah. Smart.
Okay. Would you like?
I'm ready.
Do you want?
What do you think? This way?
Yep.
Ah.
You know what?
That's just mean.
That's not funny.
I could have sold it a little better. Brought some ketchup out.
Because you just travel with ketchup to make it look like your finger's bleeding?
I've had ketchup in my truck before.
Well, just keep your eyes on that.
You never know.
You're right. I don't ever know.
You just act like you know what you're doing here and just smush them.
Smushing would be a less technical term, sure.
Smothering.
So, can I offer you a technique? And I realize that knife is a little bit clunky. Can I offer you a technique for that?
Oh yeah, I don't know how to.
So if you keep the tip of the knife down, so if you're gonna do that, so this is, and you just rock it back and forth, so now your fingers aren't in the way at all.
It's a lot
and I don't
better.
have to worry about where that blade is going.
It's a lot more fine. Finely cut.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So if you're gonna start with a clove of garlic, do you know this?
Yes.
Okay. So then I'll let you do that with the rest of them. And then take the, please, can you, really makes me nervous when your open palm is exposed.
I'll be okay.
Is anybody else scratching? Okay, can you please get that to dice? That looks good. Go ahead and dump that in. So let's saute that just a little bit. So we've got our chicken warming in the oven. We're gonna give that garlic just a little bit of a saute right there. And then we are going to add a teaspoon of flour. Do you know what happens when you add a teaspoon of flour to this?
It's gonna thicken.
It's gonna thicken. So what we're going to make is kind of like a roux. So a roux would be butter and flour together, and ultimately it's going to become the thickening agent because it's going to be a little bit like gravy, but not the same thickness as gravy.
A little thinner.
Little thinner than that. So find the teaspoon, and I'm just going to have you put it right in the pan right there. Got it. So we're gonna let that cook together. The next thing we're gonna need.
It smells good.
It does smell good. The next thing we're gonna do is put some mushrooms in here. So what we have are shiitake mushrooms and regular mushrooms. And if you would just open those up, those don't need to be cooked or chopped anymore.
Yeah.
We'll just dump them right in. Yep, you got it.
You want these in there too?
Yes, please.
What's the difference?
Just a slightly different flavor of mushroom. So you're gonna have a slightly different texture, a slightly different chew to the mushroom, although the chicken really is the star in this. These will cook down quite a bit, but we're gonna need to add some liquid to make sure that they cook down. So let's take the chicken broth, and it says to add a half a cup of chicken broth. So if you wanna measure that.
It looks pretty good to me.
Okay, add that in there. And you know what? To freehand it just a smidge more, there were a few extra mushrooms in there. Put a glug. Yep, perfect.
A glug.
A glug.
Did you come up with that?
Usually I would use that to describe my wine. I just need a glug, a sploosh, a glug,
Just
a splash.
Splash.
I don't need a full glass. When I'm trying to avoid a full glass, I just need something that sounds less than a glass.
Sploosh is good.
A sploosh is very good.
A sploosh.
A sploosh is less than a splash.
Yes.
This
It
is-
might be a little more than a splash, I think.
You think a
Splash
sploosh?
might just be pop in, pop out. Sploosh might be a little more longer of a hold.
This is the ongoing debate that I have with girlfriends.
Yeah.
And it gets you in real trouble because if you don't know the difference between a sploosh and a splash and you're pouring for people,
You
this
get in
is a
trouble.
problem. Yeah. You might want a sip of your wine for this.
Sounds good.
Are you a wine drinker?
I like wine. I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but nice, like if you're cooking or staying in, glass of wine, Pinot or Cab, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
did not know this about you.
yeah, I'm not like a connoisseur like Marco or Robbie or all those guys. They're always talking about their wines and they take pictures of it and like, yeah, I got the $12 bottle from Safeway.
Look, there's nothing wrong with that. Also, I've been known to maybe take a picture of my wine from time.
That's okay. It's cool. I would like to do that one day.
Since we are allowing those to cook down for a little bit, I think that it is time for Virtual Master Chef presented by Safeway. I've got 5 ingredients and I want to know what you would make with these 5 ingredients. You ready?
Let's do it.
Shrimp, cabbage, avocado, pomegranate, tortillas.
I mean, you gotta go like some kind of shrimp taco, right?
I would think.
Do like a shrimp taco. You say pomegranates? Maybe like use them as like, crush them up, use them as some kind of like sauce or some kind of like dressing on top. Kind of liquidize them maybe somehow, if that's possible.
Yeah?
I was gonna say you could do egg rolls with those too.
Oh, tell me more about that.
I mean, with cabbage and stuff, usually there's cabbage and egg rolls. You could do like, my mom makes really good egg rolls, so you can do like some kind of egg roll. I don't know how you do it. You'd have to get like a paste that ties the tortillas together and
yeah, or if there was
keep the right wraps.
if there was like a carb, another carb like some rice or something would help bind that together,
yeah,
right?
yeah. So, but yeah, the obvious one is tacos for sure. What was it? Shrimp, cabbage,
Avocado, pomegranate.
Yeah, for sure.
tortillas.
For sure, tacos.
Okay. You had no problem with that, so I'm going to up the ante a little bit. Let's say that you are given chicken, pretzels, Parmesan cheese, broccoli, and orzo.
What is orzo?
Orzo's like a little pasta. It looks like rice.
Like risotto? Like,
Yeah, but it cooks as fast as pasta.
okay.
So the advantage there is that it's done in like 7 minutes.
So chicken, say again?
Pretzels, Parmesan, broccoli, and orzo.
Probably do some kind of, make it look like, how big is the rozo? I don't know how big that is.
It looks like rice. Looks like rice.
So boil it down.
Yep.
Make that my base. Crush the pretzels up, make them kind of like a crunchy top. Marinate the chicken and put the, what is it? The one?
Parmesan and broccoli.
Yeah, I'll go saute the broccoli and do the chicken and make some kind of like pasta out of that.
I
For
like
sure.
that.
Yeah, with a crunchy top with the pretzels.
I like that. I like where you were going with the crunchy top with the pretzels.
That's what I think of.
I would make that into breadcrumbs
Oh, yeah.
and then coat the chicken with a little parm and cook the broccoli and the orzo together.
That'd be
and
good.
it kind of makes its own little thing.
That'd be really good. That sounds better than mine.
It doesn't necessarily sound better. It's just different.
That's good, though.
I love where you're going, though.
I never thought of pretzels. Breadcrumbs are good, though.
Breadcrumbs are really good. And you can make breadcrumbs out of just about anything.
That's true. That's true. You can hold your meat together, too.
Yeah, like if you're making meatloaf.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
do
a great
burgers,
binder.
Add
Yep.
some breadcrumbs.
Yeah. You put breadcrumbs in your burgers?
You can. It helps them kind of stay together a little longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just didn't think that that would be your style.
Never know.
Is there anything you won't eat? You seem like you are adventurous in the kitchen and that you're willing to try things.
Is there anything I won't eat? Not really. I don't know. I haven't really got around to like Thai or Indian. Yeah. I just don't know a lot about it. So, but besides that, I'll eat anything. Big guy. I can pretty much put anything down. So.
You're like the just give it to Mikey commercials. Do you remember those? Did you see his face? The answer is no. Just give it to Mikey. He'll eat anything.
What years are those?
What years were those?
The 80s.
Okay, you know what, guys? I don't need the peanut gallery chiming in.
No way in hell hearing them.
You know what? Did you just hear me? I don't need the peanut gallery. They're not listening to me very well. Okay, look at what's happened to our mushrooms.
That's looking really good.
I really like the way this is looking. Let's add some of the Marsala wine. This is cooking wine. It says wine. You can drink this all you want. I would not recommend it. It's not going to do anything. It is cooking wine. Our recipe calls for 1/3 of a cup. And I would stay pretty close to that measurement just because we want to make sure that our flavors balance out.
Right on the dot.
Perfect. Dump that in. I'll give it a stir, and then we're going to put our chicken back in. Your mom is going to be so impressed with this when you make it.
He was so proud of me.
What's a sport you wish you would have played? Or given a shot?
I was going to try football. I never did, really. But I wish that I'd started golfing sooner, earlier than I didn't start until college, and I really enjoy it. But yeah,
You mentioned earlier you don't have a lot of patience,
yeah,
but you golf.
I do golf.
This is why I struggle with golf.
Golf is good. It's good for the mind.
Really, because my mind only says, gosh darn it,
I
in
know.
stronger language over and over and over again.
Golf is about, I mean, it's about the closest thing you get to baseball in terms of like the mind, like the mental skills and how hard it can be on you, and kind of just like that whole like approach to it. It's kind of fun. It's fun, but it's not. But you know, it's one of those things.
But see, this is how I view catching.
Catching.
Catching is the last thing I would ever want to do. It's like it's fun, but it's really not fun. I mean, like it's really, really not fun most times.
Right.
Have you ever thought, why did I choose this position?
I mean, my dad's the one who introduced me to it, so he was a catcher, and he kind of showed it to me, exposed me to it, and I honestly I love it. I do. I wouldn't want to play any other position, and yes, there's times where you know you feel like you're beating your head against the wall, and you're like, get me out of here, but it's so rewarding, you know, getting to work with other guys and pitchers, and it really is a lot of fun, and it's I wouldn't want to be in any other position. So
Your hand must hurt. Everybody has velo.
yes, yeah.
What was the moment where you realized, maybe it was not Little League, maybe it was college, that you caught the first one that just cracked your hand?
Yeah. I don't know. College was definitely like an awakening because of how much more volume you're taking in, and guys were throwing hard consistently. But honestly, I'd say it was the first spring training when I was in 2019.
And you were how old? 22?
Yeah, 22. And I wanted to catch every bullpen at the time, and you know, guys were throwing hard and never caught those guys before, and you know, your hand gets worn out and swollen, and you can't really feel anywhere from your index finger down to your thumb right here, this area. Yeah, it's like that. It's permanently like swollen and like.
So your hand, hold up your hands. Your hands are two different sizes. Yeah, look at that. Show the camera. Your hands are two different sizes.
Are they? I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't, like, especially when you get in season, like, I don't even feel that area. It just goes
That
numb.
seems dangerous.
It's okay. You only got so much time to do it, so.
Well, I suppose that's true. And I suppose I should take advantage of the time you have that you can feel it. Why don't we cut a little of this? We're gonna put it on top, and then I'm gonna have you mash some potatoes. We're ready to plate. So when you add fresh herbs to just about anything, it's gonna brighten up those flavors. I'm very impressed with you. I think that's a good mash.
It's a good mash.
I think that's a good mash.
Do it again?
Moment of truth. And then we're gonna try it with the wine.
Forgot we had wine pairing.
Yes.
Never good.
Ooh, we did a good job with that.
That is good. I had my doubts.
Why would you have your doubts? But I'm glad that you kept them to yourself until the very end. Maybe a little more salt and pepper.
I think it's pretty good. Chicken's nice and cooked.
Cooked is a low bar.
Expectations are,
Kyle. Cooked is a low bar.
yeah.
Did you think I was going to try to serve you uncooked chicken?
Oh. Hot. Oh, good.
Here, let me help you with that.
Mushrooms are good.
Here you go. So the Merlot that we picked, the reason I picked this is that it is a like mid to lighter bodied red. You could absolutely do a white wine with this, but because we have the Marsala in there, it'll stand up to just a little bit of a red, so you should be able to
Sounds good.
taste, and then
It's good.
that works.
The little, what'd you call it? The gravy?
Yeah, it's just the sauce, yeah. It's a little
good.
bit like a gravy, yeah.
It's good because it's light. It's not too heavy.
Nope. It's a good deal.
I'd definitely make this again.
Excellent. I'm so glad you said that. And I'm so glad that you stopped by to help me cook.
Yes. Thank you for letting me come on.
Absolutely. It is such a pleasure to be able to cook with friends and to share a meal with family, but I know that not everybody has that opportunity. That is why for every episode of I Cook, You Measure, a donation is being made to nonprofits helping to end food insecurity in our community. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Okay, so
that was a little exaggerated.
That was an unceremonious.
You gotta put that in there.
I would prefer that ends up on the cutting room floor, but
I'll talk to the people. Make sure it gets on there.
I Cook, You Measure is presented by Ascend Hospitality Group, a Black and female-led independent restaurant group based in Bellevue, Washington. The collection of concepts proudly employs more than 700 people in Washington, Oregon, Utah, and Arizona. Committed to elevating the communities it serves, AHG invests wholly in both its team members and its guests to take service to the next level. Learn more at ascendhg.com.